Toolbars. Toolbars consist of buttons that are shortcuts to menu commands. Toolbars. Toolbars consist of buttons that are shortcuts to menu commands. So if it's a menu command you want, a toolbar is a shortcut to the menu command. The standard toolbar consists of commonly used commands. The table below outlines the buttons on the standard toolbar. Press this button to start a new image. This button on the toolbar. Press this button to start a new image. Press this button to open an image. That would be in your files, I'm assuming. Okay, press this button. Press this button. Looks like an old floppy disk. To me, anyway. I don't know what a floppy disk is, but anyway. You press this button to save an image. Press this button to save an image. We all know what the proverbial button here is. We know what that means. That, my friend, is the button you press to print an image. This button, looks like a piece of paper cut in two. This button you would click or press to collect selected objects to the clipboard. This button right here you would press to cut selected objects to the clipboard. So whatever objects you select, any object you select, whether it's text or whatever you turn into an object, it cuts the selected objects and sends them to the clipboard. Right here, this button right here. Copy selected objects to the clipboard. That is to cut selected objects to the clipboard. This is to copy selected objects to the clipboard. This button looks like a black and white page. This is to paste the clipboard contents to an image. So if I press this, it would paste, it would put into the image whatever I copied into the clipboard. So you just press this button, whatever you had put into the clipboard to save, you press this button, it will paste or put into the image that you have. It would put that, whatever you have saved to the clipboard, it would put it into or paste the clipboard contents into an image that you have open, I suppose. This is an undo the last action button. So if you are fooling around with an image and you don't like what you just did, what you just subtracted or whatever, you click that button and it will undo what you just did. This button will redo the last action. So if you're painting something and like in the same direction, I believe that means that it will redo that last line you made, or maybe that last letter that you put into the image. Maybe that's what it means. I'm thinking that's what it means. This button right here, this purple with the two arrows coming together, that you press that button, it will display the Get More Docker to acquire more creative tools or search for content such as clip art, photos, fonts, and more. So I want to go to this button right here if I want to find out, maybe I want to get Paint Shop Pro so I can have better tools to working with photographs. Maybe I want clip art because it's easy to use clip art to put basic images on shirts, like because I want to print shirts. So they got this clip art is vector, and vector allows you to enlarge and shrink the clip art, make it as big or as small as you want without losing the quality. And then you have get more. Let's see, search for content like photos. Corel must have stock photos you can choose from. I know it has fonts. Fonts are different size letters and styles of letters and numbers, like a Western font. Like if you want a biker shirt, you would look for kind of like a Western font. It would display like the letters you find on maybe biker shirts and that sort of thing. This button you press to import an image. I'm assuming that means to bring in from a file somewhere, or maybe even from the internet. This button is to export an image. Now look at those. Those look different. I mean, those look very much the same right here. They look a lot alike. So I guess that button will either import an image or export an image. We'll have to try that out and see what happens. This is on your what were we talking about? We were talking about toolbars, right? So that toolbar, that's above the image, and you'll see these buttons that you'll have the options. You can select these different buttons, okay? So on that same toolbar, you'll have this button. You can change the zoom level. So if you want to zoom into your image, click this. You would press this arrow and change your percentage. If you would like to change your zoom level of the image or the object you're looking at. This button right here, I've never pressed that, I don't believe, in my whole life, but that's great. Display a full screen preview. That's pretty sweet. So if I want to see what the size of the image, the actual size maybe is, or at least to be able to look at it, look at the image in greater detail, I press this button on the tool. What is it? It's the tool bar, not the toolbox. Press this, it will display a full-size preview. Full-size preview if I press this button. This ruler looking thing looks like a framing square. It show or hide rulers. Oh, that's good. Okay, so for in your image area, that's great for measuring if you have to have like if I want an image that's just right for a shirt that I'm going to put it on, it will show the rulers. And then of course this I've never used or rarely used, and we're going to figure this one out, how we can use it to our advantage. This button, show or hide guidelines, and guidelines look like, to me, ways you can you can more accurately put your text or your image and place it on the screen, on the image, in the image area, exactly where you want it. Ah, we got more. Okay. Press this button. Press this button on the toolbar. Show or hide the image slicing grid. We got to learn more about that, but let's try to memorize this. This button right here looks like a knife. Show or hide the image slicing grid. Image slicing grid. I wonder what that looks like. This right here with the dotted lines, this button, if you press that, show or hide the mask marquee. Okay, so I've seen that where if you make a mask around an image and you want to select inside that image, like, and you complete the circle, it shows these dotted lines of where, the area that you just created into a mask. So I'm just trying, let's just memorize this, and we don't know really what it means exactly, but let's just commit it to memory, okay? We got dotted lines right here, this button on the toolbar. It's the toolbar, right? It is the toolbar. It's above the image. You will see these buttons you can press, these different buttons. This one will hide or show the mask marquee. The solid line button will show or hide the object marquee. So it will show. So these do the same thing apparently. These two buttons do the same thing. They'll show or hide. Oh no, it shows, this one shows or hides the object marquee. This shows or hides the mask marquee. Okay, so the object marquee looks like solid lines, like a rectangle or something. I think that's what that means. But remember this, let's commit it to memory. This button right here, show or hide the object marquee. This will invert a mask. I'm going to look into that more. Invert a mask. This button right here, this black and white with the arrowheads that point inversely. These arrowheads. This is to invert a mask. This button right here inverts a mask. This button with the minus red dot and the dotted lines, that will clear a mask. Well, what does that mean, clear a mask? Does that just take away the mask? There's no more mask. This button right here. This button right here is to clear a mask. This button right here usually means settings. This opens the options dialog box. Options dialog box. We'll have to, I don't know really what that means, but this button, let's commit it to memory. This button right here on the toolbar, it opens the options dialog box. So it gives you options. If you click this bar, it opens the options dialog box. And this on the toolbar, this button will start Corel applications. I've never used it, but this button right here will start Corel applications. So, in addition to the standard toolbar, Corel Photo Paint has toolbars for specific kinds of tasks. Let's read that again. In addition to the standard toolbar, Corel Photo Paint has toolbars for specific kinds of tasks. For example, if you frequently work with masks, you can display the mask object toolbar. You hear that? For example, if you frequently work with masks, you can display the mask object toolbar. Mask object toolbar. I don't see a mask object toolbar as an example for this. So it has nothing to do with this. This is just something else you can do. So let's read those first two sentences. In addition to the standard toolbar, Corel Photo Paint has toolbars for specific kinds of tasks. It's in addition of the standard toolbar, you can make your own, specific kind of toolbar for specific tasks. For example, if you frequently work with masks, and I intend to do just that, you can display the mask object toolbar. That might be what you use this button for, to open the options dialog box maybe. Unlike the contents of the property bar, the contents of the toolbar remain the same. Unlike the contents of a property bar, the contents of a toolbar remain the same. So what we want to do is, for information about moving and resizing toolbars and changing the toolbar's display, by default, see to customize toolbar position and display in your manual on page, could be different on yours. You can also create a custom toolbar to include the tools and commands you use most often. You can also create a custom toolbar to include tools and commands you use most often. For information about creating custom toolbars, see Customizing Toolbars on page 521. Should we continue? Yeah, we'll do this one last thing here. Okay. To hide or display a toolbar. To hide or display a toolbar, click Windows, Toolbar, and click a toolbar. To hide or display a toolbar, click Window, Toolbars, and click a toolbar.